Hey everyone, Rachel Akers here, bringing you another workshop in association with Creative Active Lives. So for those of you that have been following along, we have been creating these workshops for you so that you can do some amazing artwork at home. And I know that Creative Active Lives are also doing some really cool home things with bubbles and circuit boards and all sorts of amazing things that you can do at home. So I am bringing to you today a Zentangle drawing workshop. Now for those of you that don't know what Zentangles are, they have been a huge craze recently, all about patterns and colouring and mindfulness. So I'll show you an example. This isn't my work, this is just some work that I found of Zentangle patterns to show you an example. And mostly they can be in black and white, but what we're finding at the moment is you've got a colouring book, it's got Zentangle patterns all over it, and you can get your colour pens out and you can fill in all the gaps. And it's all about relaxing, enjoying your time drawing and just drifting away and not having to think about anything else but drawing this really cool pattern. So what I'm going to show you is not just colouring in these patterns, it's actually creating these patterns yourself. So what I wanted to show you was that you can do them in black and white. So here's one that I did of in a turtle outline. So you can get these and print them off. Look, I've got it upside down, but you can get these and print them off so that you've got the shape to follow, and then fill them in just like I have. So this one I did in black and white. So I just used a black pen, and obviously the white is just the paper. But you can actually do them in colour as well. So I printed out this cool template of a frog and basically went a bit crazy with colour and filled it all in with some really cool patterns. And he looks rather funky, I think. So what you can do as well is you don't have to use a template. You can actually just fill a whole A4 page with patterns if you want to. That's the great thing about this, is that it's all exactly what you want to do. There's no rules. I'm just here to show you how you can put the patterns together and how things work, really. So with your PDFs, you should have templates to print out, but also you've got lots of different ideas. So I like to have mine all laid out in front of me. So I've got all of my patterns just here, and I will show you in a minute, ready to kind of pick bits out and give me ideas as I'm going along. And what I've decided today is I'm just going to show you it with my black pen. This is just a ink ballpoint pen. It's nice to have quite an inky pen, but you can use anything you like. You can even use a biro if you wanted to. But what I've done is I've chosen this really cool little lizard, and I want to colour him in using all my Zentangle patterns and ideas. So I'm going to just angle the camera down now so that you can watch what I'm doing. Just move my cable out of the way. And I hope that you enjoy it. So I'll just kind of explain to you what I'm doing a little bit as I'm going along, but it's really just filling it in. It's just picking the patterns and choosing what you want to do and filling it in. And it is a really fun, gentle mindfulness type activity to do, which I really enjoy. So as you can see, there's my little lizard. I've got all my bits and pieces in front of me. And what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to start with the head. So I'm going to take a look at the head, and I think looking at my patterns that I've got, I think it might be nice to create maybe a little flower inside my lizard. So I'm going to start off with a little pattern here. I'm going to do 2 lines because I know that if you're looking at your other patterns, you've got little zigzaggy things, you've got little lines here. So the best way to start is by drawing a couple of lines so you know where you want to go up to. So I'm just going to fill this in, make this line nice and neat. You know, if you go wrong as well, it really doesn't matter, because you could just fill it in with black, you could choose a different colour, and nobody would know if you went wrong anyway. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a nice little bubble pattern, and I'm going to fill this section in with lots of little circles. I'm going to go big and small. So I'm giving a really funky little nose here, and sometimes fill in the gaps around it. And so if you did a circle and actually it didn't work, it wouldn't matter, because you can't tell, because everything is just how you want it to be. Nobody's going to know if you go wrong. So here I'm just filling all of this in. And then in this little bit that I've left, I'm going to do a little zigzag like this. You can pick any pattern you like. That's the best thing about this, is there is no rules. It is just, let's just fill it in and enjoy creating these marks and patterns. Now, I don't know if you noticed with my frog, I didn't really give it any eyes. I just filled it in with funky patterns. So you don't have to give it eyes if you don't want to. But I think with my lizard, I'm going to do a little bit of a pattern here to give him some goggly eyes. He'll look a bit funny, won't he? There we go. You don't have to do that. You can just continue with your patterns all the way along. But I am going to give him some crazy eyes. And it's all about just playing around with patterns and colour and filling it all in. He looks quite cute, doesn't he? Got funny eyes there. Now what I'm going to do is create a little flower pattern, I think. Sometimes I will stop and have to think a little bit, and that's fine. It's all about taking your time and just enjoying creating these patterns. So I'm going to put that in there like that. And then we choose to fill these in a pretty similar way. Don't know if you've noticed that my business logo is all Zentangles, because it's one of my favourite things, and I created that myself just by doing exactly the same thing as I'm doing now. Actually going to use it for a bit of inspiration. So as you can see, we're just creating lines, and it doesn't matter if occasionally one gets a bit too close. It really doesn't matter how we do this, it's just enjoying it. Going to colour that in. You don't have to, you could just do that pattern and not colour it in, but I think might look quite nice. And as I said before, it's all about just drifting off and colouring in. So I may not say very much as I go along, but I'm still here just enjoying what I'm doing. working very simply. Draw lines in here, just like this. Right, where am I going to go from here? So, taking a look at my patterns again, or my examples, thinking, what's going to fit next? What am I going to put together? How am I going to do this? Move the patterns over. I really like this one. It's got lots of funky patterns on this one. So I'm going to take a look at that and I'm going to think, what am I going to do? I know. So I'm going to do some lines. So I'm going to go like this. And then I'm going to start some lines from somewhere else. And I'm going to do some lines here. And I can do some here. And they all just kind of crisscross. If I start from over here, these can go down this way. Let me move this around a bit. And you see what I'm doing? Lines here. This can go from this way. Just keep randomly twisting and making your lines go in different. See how I've just messed up a bit there? I don't think it matters, you can't really tell. Where am I going to go from here? I'm going to take it from lines from here. And turn my paper around so that I can get the right angle. Make sure the lines all link together. Apologies for my croaky throat at the moment. I am perfectly fine. There's absolutely nothing wrong with me. I just seem to have a frog in my throat. So I may have to clear it a little bit sometimes. How cool does this look? And it can take as little or as long as you like, really, because you can go fast with it, or you can really take your time and think about where you want to place your lines and how you're going to do your patterns. The way I do this, as you can see, is I don't actually plan ahead. I think about it and I just fill it in as I go along. So you can do that if you want to, but if you find that a little bit scary and you think, oh no, I don't think I want to do that, you can actually draw it out in pencil first if you want to. It would take a lot longer to do it that way, but that is absolutely fine if that's what you want to do. You just go ahead and map it out in pencil and then go over it in pen. But I think it's really effective just picking your patterns, doing your wiggles and creating a really cool piece. So I've decided that I am going to, in this section here, I'm going to do this cool kind of wiggly pattern that looks a bit like patches on a cow or something, doesn't it? So that's what I'm going to place in this bit. of planning it out in pencil first is if you go wrong you can change it, but I don't think it matters because nobody is going to know. You see, I'm just extending some of them as well as I'm colouring them in. I don't have to stick to any kind of rules.